What's up, people, the internets and viewers of YouTube? It's me, Online Squid, here to talk about the 5 best features in the Division. Now remember that these are features from the closed beta, and some of them have been changed for the open beta coming up here at the 18th of February for Xbox One, and they are subject to change, but we're really excited, and well, roll intro. Ubisoft seems to have a natural talent to form a large amount of player and NPC interactions, and it's very prominent here in the Division. These interactions are completely random and spread all throughout the world PvE space. They can offer a wide range of experiences, from saving NPCs from muggings, helping JTF forces with an attack or defending an objective, or just giving someone freaking food and water. They can give tons of rewards too. I've found weapons, mods, maybe even a piece of cosmetic or armor gear, and most of the time, well-needed ammo. They have packed the world chock full of neat crap for us to do, and hopefully Ubisoft doesn't screw it up, because they have in the past, but it does offer a lot of extra stuff for players to do if it's done right. This really makes it interesting because it can turn a simple trip from point A to B much more interesting, because it allows tons of cool shit to happen and interactions that you wouldn't expect. Either way, it'll be cool to see what else we can do and how it really affects the game when it's finally released. And might I add, some of these interactions are pretty freaking funny, and these New Yorkers have potty mouths. The developers have created a really cool system for obtaining quests and map markers in the various HUD zones of the city. This system reminds me a lot of the bulletin board thing from Fairy Tale, where they could go and get jobs or different missions for money. It's really cool because these map syncs can offer info on everything from simple fetch quests, side missions, or even whole freaking story missions. It's a really cool system, and I really hope they go far with it, because random events aren't enough to keep people interested. I'm talking to you, Destiny. At number 3, we have the sheer difficulty of the AI within the Dark Zone. Now, while myself and others did complain about how easy the Dark Zone enemies were during the closed beta, this doesn't mean that they aren't a threat, at least not until you get a kick-ass setup. And I'm glad to hear that the open beta happening tomorrow will feature an AI with a bit more of a bite. That being said, you really have to watch yourself within the Dark Zone, because if you aren't careful, you can find yourself really outnumbered, outgunned, completely out of luck, and up shit creek without a paddle. It was really nice to see a game that had an AI that could kick my ass at a moment's notice, and if I wasn't really ready, it could turn me into Swiss cheese. This promises to keep enemy encounters interesting and feel less grindy. Still looking at you, Destiny. Still looking at you. The Division is an extremely porous game and has a hella ton of nooks and crannies for you to explore. Being that it is New York City, there are also a lot of nostalgic places that you can find yourself exploring and searching for loot, or just screwing around. These places can include apartment buildings with a ton of lootable items to grab and a sad, silent story to tell of survivors who didn't make it. But then you add a derelict subway station packed full of crazy asshats with axes and flamethrowers, and things get interesting. A cool component that they added to the game, though, was these contaminated areas. These places that hold this thread of not knowing how much time you have until you'll die of infection because you didn't bring the right gas mask. Then add the aforementioned jerks, and this becomes a pretty risky endeavor just for loot. Throw in a bunch of chests and lootable item crates and all the fighting scavengers, and looking endlessly through abandoned areas becomes well worth your effort. I really like that it really takes to home this idea of high risk, high reward exploration gameplay, and it's really just the devs saying go big or go home. And at number 1, you knew it was coming, and if you didn't, you really don't know me. The customization in the Division is uncanny. Now, I expected a good gun customization system, seeing as Red Storm, who was involved with other games like Ghost Recon, was also involved with this, but I honestly was surprised to see just how unique each individual character can become. Now, talking about the guns first though, the customization is very reminiscent of the Battlefield 4 game, which is not a bad thing, even though I might have been wishing for a system more akin to the Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter system, where you could change your barrel length, gas regulation, and burst mode. All this to say that there is a complete discretion of each player to create a setup that is uniquely tailored to their playstyle. And not just with their weapons either. Your skills, talents, and abilities can all be tweaked and adjusted just the way you want them. And the gear and armor are also moddable and upgradable, just like the Fallout 4 system, which is really awesome and a freaking brilliant move on the part of the devs. All in all, I cannot wait to see just how far me and others can take this customization system, between the character creation, guns, armor skills, and even the cosmetic gear. Well guys, that is our top 5 best features in the Division. Hopefully you understood and followed everything we said. If you didn't, then you should probably learn English. And if you do know English, then I'm afraid there's no hope for you. But if you did like this video, remember to give us a thumbs up. And if you do subscribe, I will bake you brownies. So do it. Do it right now. As always guys, my name is Online Squid, and this is Squid TV.